Alright, got another project getting started on here. This is a future home site. So there's the pad up there. So last year, they graded all this a couple years ago, graded the pad out, sloped this bank, and they just let it kind of naturally regen. And so it got pretty thick with trees about like that size. We thinned most of these trees out. They were on this bank, and we mulched everything back and just basically just gave it a hard reset to get the woodies knocked back. Because the plan is to add more diversity here, and so we're finally getting started on that and start managing this more like a grassland ecosystem, like a prairie with lots of biodiversity, fire adapted species. Implement a fire rotation on this to manage it. Boy, those cicadas are loud. But yeah, so that's basically what we're going to do again. All the woodies here are just stump sprouts, lots of locusts and poplars and maples and pioneer species. We are being selective. We're leaving. We've got lots of sassafras and witch hazel. So those are good mountain woodies for our pollinators and wildlife. So we're going to leave those because we like them. But once we get all this cleared back, we're going to hydroseed it with pollinator mix from Mellow Marsh Farms. We're also going to thin this whole edge out here and open some more sunlight up to it and hydroseed it as well. So that way we kind of have like this little edge habitat, this little linear opening. So we have this gap in the trees here. I didn't realize I was zoomed in. But we just want to take advantage of that gap in the canopy to create some early successional habitat because there's some extra resources there. So stay tuned. We'll try and show you every step of the process. We're also taking care of that gnarliness. So it should be a fun one. It's going to be a cool project. So stay tuned. Alright, so that is going. Sent all that off down into the holler there to break down and be salamander insect habitat. We made some progress getting some soil exposed. Something I kind of didn't mention in that last clip was the main purpose is not to really get rid of this plant community per se, or to kill anything in here because it's mostly good stuff. But really just to expose some soil so that we can get good seed to soil contact when we hydroseed. And then once we let that establish for a year or two, we start managing it like a grassland, implement a burn rotation. That's going to keep our woodies knocked back, and it's going to stimulate our germination and promote the seeds and the plants that we're seeding here. Made some progress opening this edge up. Just kind of the same deal. Just kind of had some brush to clean up. Had a log to get. Storm came down. A tree came down during the storm, and so neighbors just cut it out of the road. So we got it the rest of the way cleaned up. But other than that, everything's coming right along. We're gonna keep thinning this edge out. We're gonna take our blower and kind of expose all this, as much soil as we can, and that's what we're going to focus on, hydroseeding. And so really, this we hydroseed a lot for erosion control, but this isn't really necessarily the purpose of hydroseeding in this context, because we call this a dirty chute because we've still got lots of existing vegetation. We've got broken down organic matter on top, debris and vegetation that we've cut down. So we're really just using the hydroseeder and a little bit of cellulose mulch to help it stay. We're using water as a catalyst to just get this seed on this bank, on this slope, and hold it there until it germinates. So keep moving right along. Show you a couple more invasives that we're dealing with here and that we deal with often. This here is called Sericea lespedeza. We have lots of native Lespedezas, but you'll see this a lot. It makes these big clumps, these big bunch forming perennial. I guess it's a forb, but it's extremely invasive and extremely hard to deal with because it's a rhizomatic spreader, which means it makes root runners underground and it produces lots of seed. And what's funny about this plant, how it became to be an invasive, is this is actually introduced for wildlife. So once we started to notice a decline in our upland game bird species, our northern bobwhite quail species, our prairie birds, we started looking for a plant that would mimic the bunching formation that native form season grasses create. I don't know why we didn't just try to go back with those, but we introduced this stuff because it's a very clump forming type of plant, so it kind of creates a nice habitat for game birds nesting wise. But we come to find out that it's about useless for everything else. It's useless for our pollinators because it's non-native, and it's extremely invasive. It takes over everything, chokes out the diversity. And then right beside it here, we have this miscanthus, this Chinese stiltgrass. So not Chinese stiltgrass. Chinese silvergrass. Apologize. So it's another clump forming grass introduced for erosion control, and yeah, so we're trying to dig it up as well and hydroseed over it and try and introduce native warm season grasses to compete against it. Otherwise, this Chinese silvergrass is going to take over this whole roadside, and that's not good because it doesn't do anything for our native wildlife or the ecosystem. Well, I'll tell you what, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Okay, so day 2 out here. It's raining, wet. Forecast lied to us once again. But it's alright, we can still get this done. Really just finishing up prep before we start mixing tanks. We've got our edge cleared out down there. Tried to remove as much of that miscanthus grass and Sericea lespedeza, and really it's got to finish touch up with some hand tools, and then we'll start mixing tanks, and we're going to be pumping out of the creek down here. So we're going to be using some good cold mountain creek water as a catalyst to get this native seed on the ground and create some habitat. So stay tuned. Alright, we got all the leaves blown back, got lots of soil exposed all the way down the road here and on the sides of this house pad. I'm going to be using the Melomarsh pollinator mix here. It's got multiple different species, sun-loving, shade-loving, edge species, native warm season grasses, cool season grasses, flowering perennials, the whole nine. Lots of diversity. So we're going to mix up the tank here. So 2 pounds is 4,000 square feet. Seed. Alright, so we're going to show you how we fill up tanks in between shots on the hydroseeder, but while we're filling up here by this creek, usually observe the plant community here, and we got a cool native wildflower. It's called Sundrops. Super neat woodland wildflower. There's several of them around here that haven't bloomed yet. Also some nice May apples. But anyways, so this is our system here. This is how we fill up our tanks when there's no water source. It's our lamp and our creek. So we usually just try to find the closest water point. We just use our little 1-inch Harbor Freight pump to use that good clean water to disperse native seed. The creek water is way better than filling up the house with city water. So that's how we do it.